Singer-songwriter Tara MacLean's latest work is a memoir. She joins us now with more on the Song of the Sparrow, the book, and the album that accompanies it. And I love this idea because the album is a tie-in to the book.
That's right. Yep, it's kind of the soundtrack for the story. Absolutely.
Because the book is a lot about where your music comes from. And a lot of it comes from pain.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of songwriters have that process, but music has been in my family. My father was a singer-songwriter, and music was always around when I was growing up. And I learned that writing songs was a way to make me feel better and to, help me understand and navigate that sort of inner emotional landscape. And so I've made lots of records, and this is my latest one.
So they're not necessarily all new songs on this album, but people can read, as you're reading the book, you kind of tell them where these songs came from. And we were talking in the break earlier, you talk about music being your life raft.
Definitely, yeah. Music, I don't know where I would be without it. I've written poetry ever since I was a little girl, and my mom told me I sang before I spoke, which is why the book is called Song of the Sparrow, because she told me I was a little bird. And so music was just always with me and continues to save me every step of the way.
Right. So the book kind of starts out with a bit of pain and bad memories, but it's kind of like to how you're flying out of that, right, as a sparrow.
That's right. Yes, exactly. It's a book about rising above circumstance. It's a book about forgiveness and love, and all of us internally have this superpower that can get us through. It's about finding that, and just finding ways to overcome and triumph in the face of extreme tragedy.
So it's not just your story; you're helping others too.
I'm hoping it's the story of the human condition, really. A lot of the things I've been through, I mean, so many people have been through it. It's not unique. I just happen to have lots of them. It's like an amplified, accelerated learning experience, I guess. But in the end, I feel really, really lucky and grateful for everything that happened. And I think that's sort of what I'm hoping the takeaway will be for people, is that no matter what happens to you, we can be grateful for it.
And you've got the art to show for it.
That's it. Yes, exactly.
Yes. You said it was interesting, you wanted to go back, and because some of the songs you wrote when you were quite a bit younger, and you wanted to see how they felt now. How do they feel now?
It's funny, I realize how little I've changed in a way, revisiting songs I wrote 30 years ago, that there's still aspects of myself in them. And then the new songs, though, also show growth too. So yeah, I was very excited to create this. I recorded it in Nova Scotia with producer Daniel Ledwell, who's a genius who I wanted to work with for years. So yeah, I'm really happy with the outcome.
Very cool. And do you feel it's kind of like raw? Like, have you talked about, at shows, have you talked about where your songs come from?
That's a great question, because honestly, most people who know me have read the book and said, I had no idea. And I guess excavating a lot of these memories was a way deeper process than I had anticipated. And I didn't realize how much I had kept inside. And so now, everything is just out in the light. I feel so good, so unburdened by these stories. So when people read it, a lot of people call me and are like, "Are you all right?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm amazing. How are you? Let's hear your stories." So
because it would be fresh to a reader, but not to you. You've lived it. You've gone through it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cathartic.
Yes, very. Okay, and we're going to hear your songs, actually, because you're going to be at Mills Hardware, which is such a fabulous venue. You're there tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, yes. Absolutely. I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'll be playing with Kevin Fox, who's a really well-known, brilliant musician. And we'll do a little reading. It's more like kind of like a book launch, album launch kind of evening.
I love the concept of the album going with the book. Okay, Tara, thanks very much for sharing your stories with us. And again, the show is tomorrow night at Mills Warehouse and Mills Hardware, we should say, on King Street. And we'll get the ticket information up on our website, chch.com/morninglive.